no, don't mind me. I'm just getting dressed.
Oh,
And then I'm going to put my lotion on my hands while we're here because it's a great day to celebrate all the things. And it's our last Instagram Live.
I know, for until June.
Until June. Yes,
Until
not forever,
June.
just until June.
Just until June.
How are you, wife? You look stunning. Is
I
that
do.
blue you're wearing today? Turquoise?
I'm wearing turquoise. You know, there's a party on
Nice.
the top and it's sweatpants on the bottom.
Well, I'm not wearing any pants at all, so there you go. Yeah.
Yes. So I will have to jump off about a minute early because I have a client that just rescheduled. So
Excellent.
yes.
That's all right. That's okay.
So today we are doing an Ask Me Anything. So ask us anything about sex or relationships or anything like that. Cindy's the expert. I'm just coming along for the ride.
You're an expert in your area too. You're very good with the body image stuff, and now the perimenopause stuff is your jam.
Yes.
Which, yeah. So that's, all of that stuff's really important. And given that,
basic.
yeah, and the both of us are in perimenopause, I've had a hell of a week with it.
Oh, yes.
Between you, me, and the entire public world listening to us.
Yes.
I've had a really rough week with it this week. I've been okay mostly, but this week it kicked my ass. But today I'm feeling okay. Finally, I slept. I had magnesium, vitamin B.
Great.
And so things are a little bit better. But folks who are listening, give us some of your questions. I did get one question, which was, we can start there because it's kind of, a bit of a weird one. And it was, at least somebody asked this, but he said, could he send me a dick pic?
Well, at least he asked.
And I thought, well, I did say ask me anything, so I can't wag my finger at him, and at least he did ask, and he didn't proceed to send it, so that's okay. But so maybe we can start there, talking about sending dick pics, and maybe do we like to receive them? Do we not like to receive them? And we've got one question here about squirting. I'll come back to you. I can see you. I'm just going to finish what I'm saying about
I'm writing it down too. So
okay. So I think the thing with dick pics is, dick pics are great when they are wanted. That's what I have to say about dick pics. Yep. Sending a dick pic to somebody that you don't know, to somebody who doesn't want it, to somebody who you haven't said, want to see my dick or something. And also just context. I mean, like with this particular person who asked me, did I want to see his dick pic? I didn't know him, but the context was, I did say ask me anything. So there was a little bit of context, I guess. But otherwise, I would say don't do it. And people have sort of said, why do dudes like sending dick pics? And I have to say that I think it is primarily cis men who tend to do this. I don't think other kinds of penis havers want to do this. So there is some relationship between having a penis and being a cis man that seems to make this a thing.
Yeah.
And, I guess between gay dudes, maybe culturally, maybe it's a different thing, maybe it's okay, but cis straight men to cis women, generally it's not great. Would be my overarching answer. And of course, here come the sirens because it's New York, so excuse me, but
but I mean,
yes, unless they're asking for it.
If they're not asking for it, chances are they don't want to see it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And so depending on the kind of person, I mean, I am the kind of person who would say, I'd love to see your dick. I'm totally that kind of person. Yeah. So for folks who are listening who are that kind of people, embrace the, that taking up space. If you want to see dick pics, ask for them. Don't wait to be asked. If taking initiative, I think, is a really good leveler, regardless of gender, that if you want something, it's absolutely okay to ask for it, knowing that the answer might be no, and this is where the consent piece comes into it. So it's, especially again for cis women, I think there is still that stigma of, being too forward, too pushy, too, fill in the blank. And I just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it to all of that.
Fuck it to all of that.
Get through all of that. You have to say it with an Australian accent. It sounds a
Yes,
lot more punchy.
with a lovely linguistic feature. I got a question. Someone wanted to know what is an ethical way to ask someone or a couple to have group sex? I think that's in your wheelhouse.
Yes, that is in my wheelhouse. An ethical way, as opposed to an unethical way. Well,
I guess respectful would be.
yeah, respectful. I think it would, first of all, you would probably, again, context is everything. I think context is everything. Anything to do with sex, context is the number one piece. Before you do anything else, it's context. So who is the person that you want to ask, and how do you think they're going to respond? If they are a complete stranger or if they are a friend, I think you would still approach it with the same level of gentleness and respect to scope out whether or not you think they're into it. What I would do personally is I would offer up information about myself first as an invitation to see if they then want to either engage in a topic like that, or they seem to shy away from it or whatever. That, you know, perhaps I might say something like, you know, this person that I'm seeing, you know, we've been talking about having a threesome, you know. And then in the middle of sort of talking about getting my groceries or, you know, adopting a dog or whatever, that I might just throw it in there and say something like that. And then wait and see what the other person's response is, and sort of scoping out the field if I wasn't sure that they were into that kind of thing. But then if I already had an established connection with them, and I suspected that it was going to be an okay topic at least, then I would probably be more direct about it and say, how would you feel about getting together with me and Bugalugs for a for an bit of afternoon delight, and see what they say to that. That would be what I would do. I think direct is best. Context matters, and then follow that up with direct, not kind of not leaving the other person to do too much emotional labor trying to work out what you mean and read between the lines. Like if you want something, just say it, you know. But context first.
I also think that it's when in doubt, what is the most respectful way you can ask this of somebody, you know, without assumptions or anything like that. I always find that when I feel like someone's being respectful, even though I might find their idea that I'm not into it or even abhorrent, the fact that they're respectful and give me an immediate out, where I don't have to think of a way to like get out of it. That's also, I think, a good way to do it.
Minimizing the emotional labor on the other person as much as you can. So in the event they do decide that they don't want to do whatever it is that you're asking of them, that they don't feel like they've got to scramble for excuses or justifications, or, you know, and that a no is a complete answer.
Yes. We got another question about squirting.
And
I guess what they were talking about was that they're 44 and a vagina owner, and have never squirted, and she really wants to squirt. So do you want to answer that, or?
Yeah, you can start, and then I'll jump in.
I'll jump in. Well, squirting is an interesting thing, because I think what the culture has told us is that squirting is really attractive, and squirting, you have these amazing orgasms with squirting, and you're missing out on something if you don't squirt. And nothing could be further from the truth. And correct me if I'm wrong, Cindy, but I was taught that every woman or cis woman can squirt, but not every woman does squirt.
I'm not sure about that. Because I think the research on squirt physiology is pretty scant anyway. And
we have the parts, you know what I mean? Like the skin and all of that.
Right. So everybody has the parts, but we don't really know what the mechanism is that makes it happen for some and not for others.
Right.
There's a lot of conjecture. There's a lot of people who think they know. And I'm probably one of those people. I think I know, and I have some pretty robust anatomical knowledge to back that up. But the fact that there are some women who can't and don't, I think there's two pieces to that. One piece is maybe the squirting is happening and there's not a lot and you just are not noticing it. Yeah. Or the other is that it's happening, but it's happening at perhaps at times that you don't think it's happening. So, and I mean, and then maybe it's not happening at all. And the reasons potentially that it might not be happening is the first one would be if you're dehydrated. If you don't have enough water in your system, it's going to be much, much harder. So, you know, we do know that there is a direct correlation between how well hydrated you are and how much and the volume of squirt.
What you see in porn is not realistic.
No, those people are athletes. Like they're proper athletes. Professional.
That is not typical.
No. And certainly that projection, like, you know, the projection across the room thing is, you know, I've seen it done. One of my good friends who I used to teach with in Australia, gallivanting, she and I used to do live demos of it. And she was amazing at it. And yeah, she could do the projection across the room. And I can't. I'm not an across the room type. Yeah. So I think, you know, perhaps sometimes the squirting is happening and it's either just, it's a trickle rather than a projection, or it's happening, but there's just not a lot of fluid there. I think your pelvic floor tone potentially has a bit to do with it too, because the theory is that it comes from the bladder, but the part that remains, you know, a never-ending debate is you know, is it pee, is it not pee? And everybody gets into such a tiz about whether it's pee or it's not pee. And what we do know is that it doesn't smell like pee, it doesn't taste like pee. Tests that have been done on ejaculate fluid confirm that the composition is different to regular pee. And there is going to be traces of urine in it because it does come out of the urethra, but so does ejaculate out of a penis, also comes out of the urethra. So, you know, just saying.
You know. Some ways, though, that I've heard when people are trying to do it is using a dildo or a sex toy, for lack of a better word, that is curved and has a ball at the end of it while masturbating and getting aroused. Having that area aroused is essential. It is absolutely essential.
Yeah, it's not going to happen if you're not aroused.
No, it's not like it's not an elevator button.
Yeah, exactly. And full arousal. And, you know, speaking of full arousal, I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand, especially in vulvas, just what full arousal looks and feels like, because again, it's not something that you see in porn. You generally don't see vulvas that are fully aroused. And the way that we know a vulva is fully aroused is when the lips, the inner and the outer lips, puff out. They are darker than the rest of the skin around. So whatever color the skin is to start with. Good grief, look at the size of that one.
Jacqueline Friedman.
Oh my God, Jacqueline Friedman's huge vulva.
That's
and wow. So so what we were talking about before is the urethra. Do you want to show the nice people where the urethra is?
Is the urethra.
That's the hole where the squirt comes out, not the vagina, which is the bigger hole underneath. So just so you know. And then the third hole, which is just by the by, is the anus, which we can't see, but you know, we prepared it earlier and then it was removed. But they are the three holes, and the one up the top is the clitoris there, which is just the top of an organ that actually extends all the way down and wraps around the vaginal opening. So what was I saying about?
We were talking about full arousal.
Full arousal, right? Okay. So full arousal is when both sets of lips, inner and outer lips, puff out. They become darker, and the clitoris extends from being kind of in its sleeping, slightly dormant phase when it's like this, and it does jut out, similar to a penis. So yeah, exactly like that. There you go. So this is what full arousal looks and feels like. And to get to full arousal can take, for some vulva owners, it can take up to 45 minutes or an hour. And that doesn't mean vigorous, like you're scrubbing a roasting pan. It is the process of, from starting to kiss and touching the skin, caressing the whole body, not going straight for the genitals, but allowing that time to go from a cold engine to a fully aroused engine. In some people can take up to an hour, and there is nothing wrong with that. If your arousal, if you can get aroused and have an orgasm, say within 3 or 4 minutes, which some vulva havers will say, but when I'm masturbating, I can come in 3 minutes. Great, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about full arousal, which is different to orgasming and is accompanied with squirting, allowing that slow buildup of blood and energy to happen in the vulva. So the vulva haver is really in a state of mind-body connection. That's what starts to happen there. The nervous system comes on board. The parasympathetic nervous system comes on board. That means that the body is nice and relaxed. The vagus nerve is connecting with the other person who's doing the stuff with them. So the person is feeling safe, they're feeling relaxed, but they're feeling aroused enough at the same time, excited enough to be turned on. So not completely dormant, sleepy, relaxed, but relaxed and excited at the same time. That whole practice, that whole piece can take about 45 minutes to an hour. So the issue is, for a lot of people, they don't have that time. They don't spend that time on the warm-up process. A lot of, especially heterosexual people, will do, a couple of minutes of vigorous rubbing, like you're scrubbing out a roasting dish, and then quickly stick the dick in, and then that's it. It's all over 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
That kind of sex is okay. I'm not bagging out people who do that. However, if you want to have a full, luscious, rich, squirting, transcendental experience, you have to take the time to do it, because it takes a long time for the mind and the body and the arousal to really gel in together. And this is actually true for penis havers too. A lot of penis havers never allow themselves the time to get to this full state of arousal. It's always this kind of rushed job, and then there's an ejaculation, and then that's it, one and done. So for all genital configurations, allowing time for arousal, which of course you're not going to do that every single day, because who's got hours to lie around, touching. But if you want to invest in this practice, either by yourself or with another person, it's a really wonderful thing to do, to allow your body to learn to experience and respond to full arousal. So then when you're in full arousal, squirting is really easy then. So a lot of the reasons that people can't squirt who wants to is because they're just not fully aroused enough. And it's not a race, and there's no way to make it go faster. Why would you want to make it go faster?
Yeah.
Because it's an extraordinary experience of building it up. Why would you want to eat your meal really quickly and then you don't enjoy it, and then you just go, oh gosh, I wish, I didn't even get to taste any of that. Yeah. So I really encourage people, just slow the sex down. Just slow everything down. Just do it at half speed and notice how much more pleasure you can have. Yeah. It's so crucial. And for folks who want more about all that stuff, my online programs teach all of that. And I've got a program called 30 Days of Amazing Sex, which is all about that kind of long, luxurious, sexy time. Partnered single people. Single people always get left out of sex programs. Not with me.
Not with you.
All my sex programs are for partnered and single people.
Oh, that's all such good information. Because I think a lot of people get very discouraged. And also too, when you've gotten aroused and you're stimulating the G area, I'm going to sneeze in a minute, but I'm not.
So you're going to have a nose orgasm.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Barbara, my friend Barbara Carrellas, our friend Barbara Carrellas calls them sneeze-gasms.
It's true. It's true. What was I saying? is when you're getting that, when you're fully aroused and you're stroking that G area, it can feel sometimes like you're going to pee.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You know, just keep going. And that is that mechanism that will tell you that you're closer to that squirt, that ejaculation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it does feel, especially the first few times you do it, it does feel like you're going to pee. And, you know, and even if you do, don't worry about it.
Yeah, who cares?
Just don't worry about it.
There's so many fluids happening.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and if you want, like, have a mattress protector on your mattress, and you can get a waterproof squirt blanket if you're worried, or just towels. So this is not, you don't need to invest thousands of dollars in learning how to squirt. You can, with what you've got at home. We talked about this last week. You know, pervertibles.
Yes.
You can put down, you know, towels and just a run-of-the-mill waterproof mattress protector, and you're ready to go. It doesn't matter.
Or, you know, these things the hospitals call chucks, which are basically
yes. Yeah.
And you can put it underneath your mattress if you want to, and they're disposable. And they make some that you can get anywhere that are actually washable. So
cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and again, for those that don't think they do, they may. I am one of those people that don't squirt very much. And I didn't know that I actually even squirted until a partner was like, hey, look at that.
Yeah, right. I think I didn't learn until I was well into my 30s. Like, it was not something that I did as a much younger person. Yeah. And I think it comes with confidence too. I think as you get to know your body a bit more, and I think there's an element too of letting go, like quite literally letting go, mentally, emotionally, physically. There is a relationship with being able to just, you know, let it all out, I think, as it were. So we've got a few minutes left, folks. Give us your last question, those of you that are still there. And do you have any more there, Elle?
I had one which I wasn't sure was a real question, but it is daily masturbation wrong? And masturbation isn't wrong. Daily masturbation a few times a day doesn't matter, as long as it's not interfering with the things that you have to do, like go to work, or, you know, go on that date with that person that you've been wanting to. That's when it becomes a compulsion as opposed to an enjoyable moment for you and yourself.
Yeah, masturbation itself is never wrong. If it starts interfering with your quality of life, and it means that you're losing jobs and you're letting other people down because you're spending an extraordinary amount of time masturbating, then there is something going on, but it's not a masturbation problem, and there's another thing that needs to be addressed. And that would be a great time to go and see a sex positive therapist.
Yes.
You're not a sex addict. You're somebody who's having an experience that you need support with. You need extra information to help you understand what's happening to you. Yes. There's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be scared of.
No.
Yeah.
There are many great books that you guys can get. I have some of the resources on my website, and Cindy has something which is an amazing resource, which is the Atlas of Erotic Anatomy and Arousal.
Yes, my video series. Yes, all of that stuff is under my online classes on my website. You should all go over there and have a
sex educators too.
Especially sex educators. It's a really good, the Atlas in particular is very good for sex educators, which it's made for people who want above average knowledge of how pleasure works in the body.
Yeah. They actually use it as curriculum in a lot of places.
Yes, and a university in Santiago has just picked it up, and they are actually putting Spanish subtitles on it.
Oh.
So that's going to be exciting. So Spanish speakers, watch out. In a few months, the Atlas will also be available in Spanish, which is very exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So we have just a couple more minutes here, folks. Allgasm says that she created a post on squirting to take away the pressure, but also how to prep, like towels, which is what we're talking about.
Excellent.
Yeah. So what else? Well, it is masturbation month friends.
Yes,
May,
starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. And I think there's going to be a ton of content out there that talks about orgasming. And I also want everybody to know
masturbation is going to be blowing up the internet. I hope Instagram can handle it, given how cranky they are about people having fun.
Cindy's website is cindydarnell.com. That's Cindy with a Y, C-Y-N-D-I, Darnell with 2 R's.
No, 2 L's.
No, 2 L's.
Link in bio. Very easy.
Yeah, link in bio. But also, if you don't orgasm, if you are someone that just hasn't or doesn't or whatever, Masturbation Month is still for you. It's getting that feeling of pleasure, that enjoyable feeling, that warmness. And so don't feel like overwhelmed or even, left out because you don't orgasm. It's all the same. It's all under the umbrella.
Not right. That's not, it's not even the point of masturbating for everybody. For some people, it is the point of masturbating, but, again, particularly for vulva havers, masturbating to learn what your body likes, to learn how pleasure feels in your body is really crucial. And for penis havers, masturbation to learn how to experience sensations other than orgasm would actually be a really great thing too. And for people who struggle with erection issues or ejaculations where they feel that their ejaculations are not under their control, learning how to masturbate in ways that sort of centralize pleasure rather than racing to an orgasm or feeling like I've got to have an erection, otherwise it's not real sex. Masturbation really helps you expand your palate, expand your experience of what pleasure is. And you can enjoy doing all of that stuff if you have a masturbation and porn practice, if that's kind of your jam. You can still do all of that, edging as a technique, sort of allowing yourself to get close to orgasm and then stopping for a little bit and maybe, shutting off the screen and moving around, moving your body around, doing something else, waiting for that arousal to subside a little bit and then come back to it and build it up again. And then just before you get to the end, stop and take a step back. That is a really great practice, especially for penis havers who sometimes experience arousal more quickly than they would like.
Yes. Okay, we're rounding the corner. Someone asked if we have any workshops coming up. I have one coming up in July for Everyone Deserves Sex Education. It's a master class on body image and sex.
Nice. I'm also doing one with them in, June, maybe part of the Cliteracy program. So have a look at that. Everyone Deserves Sex Ed Cliteracy. One of my live workshops will be there. Otherwise, my pre-recorded stuff is on my website under the online courses.
That's right. Link in bio, everyone.
Link in bio.
All right. I have to go.
See you.
Seeing everybody, and
we'll see you in June.
We'll see you in June. Or follow us on Instagram, and it'll be up there. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.